Hello, everyone, and thank you for attending the Ferrara Candy Virtual Job Fair event. I would like to introduce you to Eileen. Eileen will tell you about her company, job openings, and how to apply for those openings. Eileen?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending today. I wish it could be in person, but we have to stay safe here, and I appreciate you joining virtually. I'm not sure if any of you have heard of Ferrara before, but we're really excited to be coming to DeKalb. We're currently in Bolingbrook, and we will start the move sometime in May. So we are starting people in Bolingbrook if you're able to come early. Otherwise, you can still check with us in maybe the middle of April. But if you haven't heard of us before, we have been around since 1908, and we're known for lemon heads, red hots, trolley gummies, black forest gummies, now and laters. And over the years, we acquired more plants. We acquired Nestle. So we do have Crunch, Laffy Taffy, Nerds, Gobstoppers, and also we acquired 6 of the Kellogg's plants. And those were a lot of cookie plants like Girl Scout cookies, Famous Amos cookies, Keebler cookies, Keebler pie crust and ice cream cones. So we've been on basically a growth spree for the past couple of years. So we're really excited about DeKalb because it's a brand new facility. It's a state-of-the-art distribution center, and it's about 1.2 million square feet. We are building a kitchen in there as well, so there will be free lunch. So that's a nice perk to have. But we're over $3 billion in sales now. We also have a parent company, which is Ferrero. You all may be familiar with Ferrero Rocher chocolates. They also make Tic Tacs, Nutella, Kinder eggs, and then we also own Fannie Mae. Basically, we are #1 in all of seasonal candy. So all that holiday candy you see in the stores, that's our #1 category. And we are #2 in just sugar and confections overall. Some of the opportunities that we have available right now are second shift packaging machine operators. We typically look for people that have at least 1 year experience running a food packaging machine. We also have a lot of general labor openings on first shift and also second shift. And these are 10-hour shifts, so you have built-in overtime every week. The shifts do run Monday through Friday and every other Saturday. So it's about 50 hours 1 week and 60 the next. We also have sanitation openings, and we'll probably be adding some more positions as we go along, probably some more material handlers. For that, we typically look for stand-up forklift, probably also some quality technicians, and various other opportunities. And feel free to ask any questions in the chat box as I go along, guys. Some of the benefits that we offer, we do have Blue Cross Blue Shield Medical. We have dental, vision, 401k with a match. We do offer tuition reimbursement. So if you are going to school, that's a great benefit to take advantage of. Or if you're interested in going to school, the great way to work, have a job, and get your tuition paid for. We also do offer shift incentives. So if you do work a second or third shift, there will be a little bit of a higher pay rate. And also we pay every week, every Friday. There's also, growth and training opportunities. We have people who have started with us in general labor and advance above and beyond to all different types of roles. Most recently we've had general laborers that were promoted to quality. We have a guy that worked with us for a few years, and he started as a general laborer, moved up to a machine operator, eventually became our warehouse supervisor, and now he goes from plant to plant, kind of doing like project management. So there's definitely a lot of opportunity with us, but it's really up to you to kind of, go after it. Also, we have another guy started in general labor, and now he's our training manager. And, this all happened within, I would say, a few years. So, there's definitely potential there. If you are a hard worker and have good attendance, it definitely goes a long way. Also, some of the benefits, we do now have paid parental leave. So if you have a child or adopt a child, we do offer paid leave. Just so you know, some of our requirements, we do require a drug test, background check, and currently a COVID test. We are also offering vaccines on site now to our employees. So if they want to take advantage of that, they can. Some of the other things we look for: people with a strong work ethic, good attendance record, positive attitude, high energy. It's a very fast-paced environment, especially with the move going on. We're very busy. And then also someone who's a team player. And then lastly, safety conscientious. In the type of environment that we work in, safety is our #1 priority for our employees. And if you haven't checked out our website already, this is the website where you can go and apply on our career site. All you have to do is select the location that you'd be interested in. You'll see DeKalb listed there. And basically, you could select the positions that you're interested in and feel free to apply. We also have paper applications, but we won't be doing that until we officially open in DeKalb. And you can also send me your resume directly as well. This is just a picture of our safety team currently. I think it's grown since we've taken this picture, but just to kind of give you an idea, we have a great plant, a great team to work with, really great people. So if you are looking for, a new home and a place to build a career, Ferrara is definitely, a great option. Ashley, did you want to chime in at all?
Sure.
Ashley's my coworker, and just want to give her the opportunity to chime in.
Thank you. So, of course, obviously, along with all the benefits and, room for growth, obviously, they do try and make it as fun as possible. There's lots of other perks throughout the year as well. They're constantly doing, raffles where you can win prizes. There's an employee appreciation week where the employees are spoiled all week long. So lots of other fun things as well.
Yeah, definitely when COVID is not going on, we get to do a lot more fun things. Like a couple of years ago, we did this really nice picnic outside. We had a dunk tank where you could dunk our plant manager, barbecue food. We had an ice cream truck come. So a lot of fun things. But, unfortunately with COVID, we've had to try and be a little more creative with things, but hopefully we get back to that soon.
Here, and I know you mentioned for the hours for the general labor and the machine operators, the sanitation hours are a little different. They are Monday through Friday and every Saturday for sanitation.
That's right. And they do work 8-hour shifts in sanitation. If you were interested in that, we have 3 8-hour shifts for that one.
You still have that built-in overtime as well for them, since it is Saturday as well, so it'd be 48 hours on that check. So there's still overtime available.
Yes. And so just so you know, we don't manufacture any of our candy at that location. We are a packaging center. So we have about 22 high-speed packaging lines. They're basically bagging machines that bag our candy and cookie products. So you'll see a variety of all the products that we make. We have several plants in the Chicagoland area, and that is where the candy and cookies are made. So just so you know, does anyone have any questions? I do see a question here. Yes, you do have to get a COVID test before you start with us. We just ask that it's within 2 weeks of your start date. We also accept if you've taken the first round of vaccines, we accept that as well. So either or is acceptable.
Fantastic. Thank you, Eileen, and thank you, Ashley. I just want to reiterate, if you do have any questions for the Ferrara Candy team, please feel free to enter those into the chat. We'll get those answered for you. Looks like we did get an additional question in the chat. This individual asked, the packaging location you mentioned, is this the Bolingbrook location or the planned location in DeKalb? So
currently we're still in Bolingbrook, and we'll start the move in May to transition to DeKalb. We'll move slowly throughout the year, and then eventually, probably at the end of the year, we will close Bolingbrook. Basically, we're running out of space there, so that's why we're moving to DeKalb. So we have a nice, brand new, state-of-the-art center, and we'll have a lot more space.
And Eileen, if you could you go back a slide and just leave that up for the folks that are on the call?
Yeah.
I believe that has your email address on it.
Sure.
I was also going to include the website where you can go to apply for the positions. You still will need to apply for.
Yeah, here it is, right
you're
here.
interested in. Okay.
Fantastic. Thank you both.
Yeah, so
and
if you
again,
guys are interested, you can feel free to apply right here on this link, ferrarausa.com/careers. And you can check out the website and learn a little bit more about us if you're not super familiar.
Eileen, while we wait for some additional questions in the chat from the folks that are on the call, I do have just some standard questions that I'd like to ask, if that's okay.
Sure.
So how long does a hiring process typically take from the point of submitting an application to actually being hired? What's your turnaround time, typically speaking?
I would say probably like 2 weeks, maybe. So we have a high volume of positions right now. And there's basically 3 of us doing it all. So we're trying to keep up with everything, but we do get a lot of applicants and we have a lot of openings right now. So, we try to get to everybody as soon as we can. But basically, we'll get the resume, review it. We'll typically give you a call and do a phone screen. If it seems like a match, we will set the candidate up to have a Zoom call with the supervisor. So we are doing everything through Zoom right now.
The managers are also really quick to get back to us with the feedback. Yeah. So it's usually like a day at the most before we get that feedback and are able to move forward with the offer. Yeah. So then the background check process, takes about a week to get those results.
Yeah. So they just have to basically get through the background and drug test and get the COVID test done.
Awesome. Thank you both. We did get a couple additional questions. One of the questions was, do you do profit sharing? And then another one was, could you elaborate on your holidays and or vacation time benefits that you offer?
Yeah, so we don't do profit sharing. There's not a lot of companies that really do that anymore, but we have the 401k with a match. So I think the max is you can put up to 6% of your income, and the match would be 3.5%. We have 11 company holidays. We do pay some holidays that other companies don't pay. We've added Martin Luther King Day. We have President's Day. We have the day after Thanksgiving. So that's really nice to have. We also have a spring holiday, which is coming up here soon. And vacation, you would, okay, so after your 90-day probationary period, you'll start accruing vacation time, which would be 2 weeks the first year. And then when you complete 1 year, it increases to 3 weeks.
Fantastic.
So,
Thank you for that.
mhm.
Looks like we did get an additional question in the chat. This individual asked, will there be production in DeKalb or strictly packaging and distribution?
At this time, it will be strictly the packaging and distribution side. Who knows what the future may bring? We don't know. Ferrara moves very quickly, and we're going to have a lot of space there, so you never know. But at this time, we're not going to be making anything there.
Excellent. Thank you for that, Eileen. And I do have an additional question. So for any of the positions that you referenced here today, are there any sort of minimum educational requirements that folks would need to possess in order to apply?
No, we're open on that. So we do not require, like for general labor, we do not, require a high school diploma or GED. So that's fine. Some other positions may, but it will state that on the job description under the requirements.
Mostly, I feel like we just look for like experience, as long as you have some experience in a warehouse, or preferably, food or packaging, but obviously, just any type of, for general labor and sanitation helpers, we really just look for, some type of warehouse experience.
Yeah, I mean, skills are great to have. Experience is great to have if you have it. However, it's really important to us that you have some of those skills that I mentioned, like a positive attitude, good attendance, hard work ethic. That's really important to us. So let's see, starting pay for general labor on first shift, general labor starts at $15.86 an hour. And second shift would be an additional 75 cents more.
Fantastic. Thank you for that, Eileen. And again, I just want to reiterate, if you do have any questions for the folks at Ferrara Candy, please feel free to enter those into the chat. We'll get those answered for you as soon as possible. Eileen or Ashley, how can a candidate stand out and get an interview, assuming they're qualified for the position which they're applying? Is there anything that you would suggest they highlight on a resume or perhaps bring up in an interview, anything of that nature?
I would just make sure their resume is clear as far as, sometimes people will say, I worked at, let's just say, Nation Pizza. And then they just put like laborer, but then I don't really know what you were doing exactly. So just putting those details in there would be helpful. Were you packing a product in a box? Were you sweeping the floors? Were you palletizing? Just some of those details would be helpful. So, we can really see what you've done. I get a lot of candidates like that, or they're like, I ran a machine, but they're not sure like what machine it was, or, just different things like that. So just being able to clarify your experience and tell us a little bit more, because every factory or every warehouse and every company is a little different on how they run and how they do things. So we're just trying to get an understanding of, what did you do while you were there? How did it function? So we can get a better idea of their skills.
Absolutely. Just to add to that, during the phone interviews or interviews, besides providing those specific detailed examples, just great communication skills, and like she said earlier, a positive attitude really goes a long way, showing that you're interested.
Fantastic. Thank you for that reply to the both of you. We did receive an additional question in the chat. This individual asks, does it matter if you have been out of the workforce for a year or so?
I would say no, it does not matter. We may ask, you know, what you were up to during that time or why you were out of work. But you know, that's not going to disqualify you from the position. I had a candidate yesterday that I spoke to, and you know, he told me, I've been a stay-at-home dad, so I've been out of the workforce, but I'm looking, you know, to get my foot back in the door. So, you know, and we're gonna schedule him for an interview. So no, it does not disqualify you at all from the position.
Fantastic. And I just do want to reiterate, if you do have any questions for the Ferrara Candy team, please feel free to enter those into the chat. We'll get those answered for you as soon as possible. In the meantime, Eileen, I do have an additional question for you. Being that it's kind of a manufacturing setting, if you will, can you kind of describe what the work attire would be for folks who are working for your organization? And do you all provide anything like clothing allowances, for instance?
So we, when you first start, you can basically wear work pants or jeans as long as there's no like holes in them. So no like leggings, more like a thicker pant, like a work pants or jeans is more acceptable. But we will order you uniforms as well. So those will be provided. And we have a company that Stint does. They come and pick up the uniforms and clean them and everything.
There is also a $100 voucher for, you will need also like slip resistant or steel toe boots, or slip resistant shoes. So they do provide what, $100 voucher each year for a new pair.
Yes.
You don't get that right away up front. Obviously, you want to, you know, make sure that you're going to stay with the company for a while before you do receive that the first year. But eventually, you would be, you know, reimbursed for that.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you both. We did receive another question in the chat. This individual asks, if you were fired from your previous job, are you still able to apply?
Oh yeah, definitely. Again, like, you know, getting fired doesn't disqualify you from applying or, you know, trying for any job. You know, we may ask you to explain the circumstances around it. But no, I mean, people get fired all the time. Let's put it that way. So, you know, again, we may ask you to explain, you know, what happened. You know, that's basically about it.
Fantastic. Thank you for that, Eileen. And I know you did say earlier in your presentation that you do perform background checks. Would misdemeanor offenses or minor, you know, issues, would those be disqualifying factors to working for Ferrara Candy?
Not necessarily. Basically, all of our background checks we look at on a case-by-case basis. So, for example, if you did have some charges that came up that you were actually convicted of, we basically would just have you fill out a brief questionnaire and just explain the circumstances around it. And then we basically send that to our HR team for approval. And they'll probably call you as well, just to kind of hear your side of the story. And then we have like an employee relations manager. And basically, she's the one who ultimately decides on that and basically approves it. But no, I mean, it does not automatically disqualify you. Again, we look at everything on a case-by-case basis, and you know, we do listen, you know, to your side of the story and make, you know, the best decision from there.
Fantastic. Thank you, Eileen. And we did receive an additional question. So this individual asks, are you hiring for the DeKalb location immediately, or is the hiring process starting closer to the April-May move date?
Yeah, good question. We're hiring now, but you would need to start in Bolingbrook temporarily until we start moving over to DeKalb. So you can start now, but you would need to come to Bolingbrook and be flexible for that. So it's a little bit of a sacrifice in the beginning, but it would at least secure your spot. I mean, people can wait until mid-April, May to apply, but we're going to be hiring aggressively right now, so things may start to fill up as time goes on.
Understood. Thank you for that, Eileen. And again, I want to reiterate, if you do have any questions, please feel free to enter them into the chat. Don't be shy. You have an ideal opportunity to speak with hiring folks directly from the organization, so take advantage of it. In the meantime, Eileen, I do have an additional question for you, and that is, what are the opportunities for advancement within your organization? And then I know you briefly provided a success story during your presentation, but if you can perhaps kind of provide that again. We did have a couple of folks who joined the call a little bit late.
Oh, sure. Yeah, so I mean, one of the people I mentioned, I would say probably within a few years, he basically started as a general laborer. He became a machine operator and eventually became our warehouse supervisor. And now he's not in our plant anymore. He moved up and he's more of like a project manager that goes around to several of our plants. We also had another guy start as general labor, and he's now our training manager. Recently, I had, and actually we're going through the process right now. We're trying to promote some of our, excuse me, internal employees. So I have some general laborers that applied for quality, and they were awarded the position. I also have some general laborers that applied for packaging machine operators that also were hired. Now they do, look at your work performance, your attendance, things like that. Do you have the necessary skills for the position? But basically, we like to hire people that will stay in their position for about maybe 1 year. And then, but depending on business needs, they could get promoted sooner. But basically, every time we have a job posting, we try to post it internally, so our current employees can bid on those openings, and hopefully get hired. If they don't for some reason, then we will post it externally, but we always try to give our internal employees the opportunity. But as far as a career path, that really depends on like where you want to go and like what departments you're interested in. You can start in general labor. And again, some people move into quality. Some people want to move to sanitation. Sanitation may not sound like the fanciest job, but there's a lot of opportunity in that area. I mean, we have people that have advanced to corporate sanitation managers. Currently, I have a guy that was our sanitation technician for, he's been in the role for a couple of years, and he just bid on our maintenance mechanic position. And now they're trying him out for 30 days as a mechanic. And so far it's working out well. So that will be a really big career move for him, a lot more pay. So, it really depends on like the area that you're interested in. Some people want to stay in production and run the packaging lines. Some people eventually want to become a lead or a supervisor. That can take some time. So I just say, you have to be patient, and sometimes, it's a timing thing. But there is definitely a lot of opportunity there if you're willing to put in, the work.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Eileen. And we did receive a few more questions in the chat. One of those questions is, what are the starting times for the first shift general labor position? Then building off of that, we got a similar question asking for second shift as well.
So first shift is for general labor is 4 a.m. until 2:30 p.m. And then second shift is 2 p.m. until 12:30 a.m. For maintenance and sanitation, their hours are 5 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. And then we have 1 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. and then 9 p.m. to 5:30 a.m.
Fantastic. Thank you for that, Eileen. And again, if you do have any questions for the Ferrara Candy Team, please feel free to enter those into the chat and we'll get those questions answered for you. In the meantime, Eileen and Ashley, I want to provide you both with an opportunity to kind of give any sort of summary statements or concluding remarks that you'd like to make. Perhaps, something during the course of your presentation, when often you want to, bring up an additional topic or just explain something further. I want to give you both the opportunity to do so now before we kind of wrap up today's session.
Well, basically just want to say, Ferrara is a great company to work for. The growth that we're experiencing is amazing and it's awesome to be a part of. It can be, busy and stressful sometimes, but it's also very challenging and it will encourage you to grow in your career. So that's why I love working there. And I think that's why a lot of the other people who stay do as well. So if you're interested in that type of an environment, this could be a good place for you. And I would say, our Bolingbrook DeKalb team, we have a lot of great people that work for us with a lot of great ideas. Our company also is really big on diversity and inclusion. Our Bolingbrook and DeKalb plant is very diverse. During like the COVID times, we even did like a diversity fair where everybody could present, a little bit about their background, either their ethnicity or their nationality, so everybody could kind of learn a little bit about it if they were unfamiliar. But the company as a whole is really on a strong journey to diversity and inclusion. We've done a lot of analysis as far as our employees go. And, we're really happy to say as a company, we do not have an issue with diversity and inclusion. There's always improvements that we can make as a company, but currently, we're in a really good spot, which is great.
Fantastic.
Yeah, just great benefits as well.
Yeah, a lot of people like our benefits. They're necessary to have these days. So it's important to have a strong benefit package. And our company is really good about reviewing the benefit package every year and making sure that it stays competitive. Every year that I've been with Ferrara, they have always added something new, like every year. So it's good to know that you're working with a strong company that you'll always have a good benefit package, and again, very stable. We've been around for a long time. I don't know if you know, but we actually started as a small bakery in Chicago, and that bakery is still there and running.
That opened in what, like 1902?
1908.
1908, right around
Yeah.
there. Crazy.
And during this pandemic, you can see we're not laying people off, we're not reducing hours, we're hiring aggressively. So just to kind of show you our growth right now. It's a recession-proof business. People always buy candy, no matter what's going on.
Fantastic. Well, thank you to Eileen and thank you to Ashley. I don't know if you all have any additional remarks that you would like to make before we kind of begin the wrap up process here, but I'll hand it back over to you all if there's anything additional that you'd like to say.
Well, I think that's about it. I think I've rambled enough, but I do really appreciate everyone who came out today and took the time to listen and learn about us. Even if it's not for you, at least you got to learn a little bit more. And I think every step you take, helps you learn and develop new skills. If this opportunity is not for you, maybe you know of someone who'd be interested. But please feel free to apply on the link, and we will, get to your application as soon as possible.
Yes, we always appreciate a good referral.
Fantastic. Well, thank you to Eileen and thank you to Ashley for your presentation today. Again, I know that Eileen shared her contact information earlier in the presentation. So if you do have any questions regarding employment with Ferrara Candy, please feel free to reach out to Eileen at the email address that she provided, and I'm sure she will get back to you with any questions that you have. Again, we would like to thank everyone for attending today. We hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day and a great weekend. Thank you all.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.